Your film worth should not be equal to your film cost.
How do you mean?
One of the greatest enemy of the creative space in Africa is we do not innovate. When it comes to a creative art, for your mental health, you want to be sure that your film does the first primary assignment, which is to tell a story. If I ask you your best film since you're watching films, you'll be calling Godfather, Sound of Music, Home Alone. Beautiful stories. You're not going to tell me stories that you didn't understand. Story is really key. Filmmakers are storytellers. Your story, as much as it's key, is it understandable? Creatives are excited about their stories, but creatives do not know that they need to also be creative about how they raise their money. You have to be creative about everything you're doing in the entirety of your production. If my motive is to make money, I really don't care if the story is classic or not. People really do not care how much cash you spend. People want to see value in your product. And the funny thing is that the things that give your film most values most times are things you can't even pay for.
Chris, why this book? What's the motive?
Well, anytime I hear why, I always answer why not. Because, first, I'm going to be careful because there are other filmmakers here, but I think that one of the greatest enemy of the creative space in Africa is, not even creative, of African business, is that we do not innovate. And I think the process of innovation is your ability to debrief yourself after you've gone out on the creative journey and turn everything you experience on that journey into principles that can be reapplied again. So everything we do is luck, fluke, experiment. And that's why we like God. Because you see, that mystery of God just fits that part of, now God do am, God go do am again. But God did it once so that we can continue doing it. God doesn't like to do stuff over and over and over again.
Yeah.
If you listen to Jesus, you say, how long will I? I've done once, so repeat. I've built the earth, fix the earth. I've built your life, fix your life, manage your life. But we just like, that's why you see, you pray for healing in the morning. The next day you do program. The same woman you prayed for yesterday that testified in the evening will come out again. And you're wondering, but I prayed for you yesterday. So the same thing applies to all our religions, all our professions. So we've made great films. Baba Salah made great films. Ogumbe made great films. Adelov made great films. Eddie Udoma made great films. But can I tell you I know how they made their films? I don't. When I made my own films, I made my own mistakes. I'm very sure what we went through in 1230, maybe Eddie Udoma went through that in 1960-something. Thank God I finally read his book and I felt good reading his book to see that he also experienced. But why did he share that book in the 80s and the 90s? Why are those books not in the film schools for us to read them and learn? Why do I have to repeat the mistake this man made? Why do I have to suffer? I drove past Zone 6 last week and I almost broke into tears when I remember what happened. Let me tell you guys a story. We were owing a hotel money. They then locked us in the hotel. So every day the bill will increase. So every morning they will open the gate for one person to go and beg for money to release everybody. My dear. So every morning you wake up, it might be an extra bill. And I was already owing my pastor, my mother, and my brother, and my landlord. So the people that will even pray for me to come out of the quagmire were the people that I was owing. I was owing Pastor Wole. I was owing my mom. I'm talking about like 1.5 million, 2 million in 2009, 2010.
12:30.
12:30 was a time where MTN used to do free calls then. I used to crack a joke that we didn't have free calls on that film. Everything we did, we paid for. And instead of me slipping into depression, it became a time for me to ask myself, why did this film fail? That's why in this book, chapter 8 is 12:30. Because I think I don't need to go to a film school. That film was my film school. Everything that can go wrong in a film
Went wrong.
From arresting the DP to your lead role. I had it happen to you recently. The lead role went to dye his hair and perm his hair. Someone said it happened to you. I said, it happened to me in 2009. I was about to make you a star. I heard that you said someone went to change his hair too. It happened to me in 2009. In Wuse, I was shooting in my friend's house, the late Osason Oseji. And the guy came into set with curly hair and dark. This is a guy that was shot almost half of our film. The way I told him to fling the guy away, when he wrote, I am sorry letter, I saw his tears on the paper. I was 25 or 26. I was young and I was new in the business. I was trying to control a film of 47 million. We had only 17 million available. My director was first time in Nigeria shooting a film. She was hoping that I would be wise enough as a Nigerian to help her. I thought she was experienced enough in the industry to help me. So two handicapped people were holding hands and crossing road. So motor jam all of us.
So the blind was leading
so,
the blind.
so moment I got a second chance in 2011 when I got married and I had my first son, and a friend of mine, Undu Scott, who I really love, said to me, Chris, let's make a film again. I said, what's the name of the film? He said, Learning Curves. I said, I love the name. Because at that point I was learning. I had gotten 47 million and I failed at 47 million, and I said to him, let's shoot the film for 5 million. Because what I told myself was that take away the 4, shoot the film for 7. So I spent 2 years writing how to shoot a film for 7 million. And so his film was the experiment we did. And we shot that film, and in 2 nights in Abuja, we made the money back. In fact, when they were offering us the money, his mom is a senator. He said, Chris, her name is also Chris. He said, Chris, I am giving you the money, not my son. So when I held the envelope, she was holding it. If this money does not come back, disappear. Let me shock you guys. We were not even standing, we were kneeling down. So we were like this. And the son is like, if you know Unudu is an American guy, what is she? My brother did now. So the money came, we won it. And this kind of a senator. If you know Chris Ayan, you don't want to mess up with that woman. Hey. So I knew that if I miss this film now, my family will go down. And one day Undu said, let me go and see, let me drop you off in the house. Let me know your house. I said, no, you don't need to know my house. Drop me on the road and we will. So when I went through all of this and I had the opportunity to tell this story, I remember I'm a very spiritual person. I remember saying to myself that the day I figure out this problem, I'm going to share my story with the world. When you say something, you don't really mean it. Then when it now happens, I said, remember you said this thing before. So during the COVID year, we all had reasons to think. Because there was nowhere to go to. You're no more in a hurry anywhere. You cannot shoot film. Nobody was busy. We all had time. So my brain started processing, okay, you said you're going to do this thing. Now you have shot Living in Bondage, which at that time was like the biggest film. In May 2020, it hit Netflix. It was a big thing. I was now, I will post, people will be commenting, oh, my mentor, my son. Look at you, Chris. You're someone's mentor. Ooh. So Instagram was blowing up. I was growing from 500 followers to 3,000 followers. I was like, I'll be checking. I'm going to have seen my view. Okay. So I think there's some level of influence here. Let me build on it. And that's when the idea came. And it's based off on what I said before, where I said that we need to learn to debrief ourselves, to turn our processes into principles that can be reapplied. So what you find in this book is something that everybody, a lot of people have read this book and told me that when I read this book, I felt like you saw the problem I had last week on my set. It feels, a lot of people say that to me, and I don't think I thought that was what it was going to do. But however, I figured that the challenges are the same. The challenges are the same. So if I write my own failures and I share my own scars in this book, then that young guy that's about to start making film today will not have to have those scars. They can have new scars, but not those scars. I'll give another example. How Korea, which has become a big thing now in film, India, Hong Kong, built their industry. They sent a few people to America. They learned the model. They came back home, internalized it. In fact, China locked up their borders and just made sure that they were creating their own film for themselves. I hear now that in India, there's a film that's been shown in the cinema for 20 years. Yeah. Not even an American film can achieve that task. The top 3 richest actors in the world are Indians. So Hollywood has all the volume of words, but the real business is somewhere in Asia.
That's true.
So, but we have tried to learn from America, it no work. All our dear brothers have gone and come back as failures, sorry. Because maybe God is showing us a sign that we are supposed to civilize our own methods instead of going to copy. But now we are creating it. Thank you very much. If I ask you a question now, how did Funke Akindele make the Tribe Called Judah become what it became? Who can tell me in this room? Smile and wave. How did CJ Obasi get the Sundance for his cinematography? How did what's his name? Edite create a film of that amount without having any secure deal? I was able to broker that deal with Netflix. How? Can someone else in Nigeria do another white book? Can someone do a Tribe Called Levi? I'm changing the name. Can someone else do Papi Water? So we all hide our notes. And it reminds me of what happened when we were young. If you follow your dad to the mechanic store,
Yeah.
You see the other small boy who you like there working for the man. They will tell him to go and buy pure water. On his way back, they would have fixed the tires and everything. So he comes and he meets it fixed. So his work is to bring plier and bring spanner, but he never knows the action. I was doing my IT, as you guys know, I'm a mechanical engineer. I was doing my IT last 2004 in Abuja, AC Okocha. And they were doing that to me. They would tell me to go buy water. When I come back, they would have done the issue. And I said, oh, guy, you will lose this thing. And you will show me. I came here to learn. And the guy felt challenged. And he said to me, nobody has ever said that to him before. I said, because nobody has ever thought about it. If I came here to learn, you need to teach me. Or you tell me to leave the place. He now started loosening. This is an old man. Started loosening and he said, okay, so this is the screw. This is the knot. And I learned. I'm not using it for editing now, but I learned. If my car breaks down in the express, I pack it and say, oh, God, come pick the car. So what I'm saying is, it's a culture in Nigeria to think that you are powerful because you know what other people don't know. But what people don't know about knowledge is that the more you share it, the more it multiplies. This thing was a 3-page slide in Masterclass 1.0.
Yeah.
It became a 20-page slide, 40-page slide in 4.0. Now it's a book. Now it's a book. In fact, now it has a podcast.
Yes.
So it's multiplying and multiplying and multiplying because I've chosen to share my knowledge. So I think everybody needs to look internally. It doesn't have to be a book. It might be a course. It can be a manual. It can be something. But just put a method to your madness and make it a principle and share with the next guy so that when they come, while you are going off, these guys can make the industry a better place.
Yeah, they are building on a platform.
Building a platform. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much for that explanation. I mean, Uncle Steve, in the foreword of this book, called this a cheat sheet. I mean, for someone like Uncle Steve, I actually respect his opinion, you know.
He doesn't come, he doesn't say, Debo knows.
Yeah,
he doesn't say what it doesn't mean.
Yeah, he doesn't say what it doesn't mean.
He will tell you the truth, say, brah, you messed up.
So, I mean, but a lot of people have asked, I mean, why do you feel so open sharing your secrets, you know, and I think you've kind of...
It multiplies.
Sorry?
It multiplies when I share it. When I share my secrets, I notice I get more knowledge. I'm able to apply more things. And why would I do, it works for me. You know, every time I've made films, now I don't even work so hard. I told my wife recently, I don't work so hard making films anymore. Like, I don't work so hard. I made 2 films in COVID year, I almost lost my life. I almost lost everything. In fact, the second film, people still say, why did you do it? Even though I don't know why they asked that question.
You said you burnt out.
I actually burnt. I was on the 3rd film and I had to step down from the 3rd film. But this year, I've shot 2 films already. And I'm looking fresh and fly.
Hey.
So, you know, there's a system now because there are people who can now do what I do and they understand the reporting system and they understand the reason why there's need for integrity in film in Nigeria, which is a very, very, very rare thing. And when I say integrity, not just money, I mean time, I mean HR, personnel management, I mean all of the resources that you require to make a film. There need to be integrity. The fact that a young girl has opened herself up to be in your film does not mean you should take advantage of her. The fact that someone has given you their money does not mean it's your money. The fact that someone has given you their time doesn't mean you should waste it. You need to treat people's time and resources with respect, which I think filmmakers need to learn. And when they learn those things and they apply your principles, I see them execute. I'm in pre-production for a film in Lagos that starts in a few weeks' time. And all I do is I pick up my phone and I see updates. And when I need to scream, I scream. I need to say, well done, I say, well done. And they're doing their work. You know, so I think that sharing this idea with this young generation has helped me also increase my capacity. And let me say this. A lot of leaders think that being a leader is being the best at what you do. I honestly don't think that is true. I think a leader knows how to make people around them be the best. Because, so let me tell you what happens. So let me use Ramsey as an example. So Ramsey, who's my partner, is a creative guy.
Yeah.
But he's now in his 50s. So even though he's creative, he cannot achieve everything he wants to achieve in his mind. He might not be physically fit to achieve it. And I said to him, see, I think it's time for you to be able to create some younger Ramses who can do better than you can do, but will stay relevant. I'll use an example. I told Uncle Steve, why didn't you write a book? Why are you not writing a book? He said, Chris, I don't have the time. So at the end of that conversation we had on Thursday, he said, but you know, Chris, I've written a book, right? He's written a book. Because I'm sitting down here today, and with me on this chair is Mo Abud, who gave me my first job and taught me how to be disciplined and cross the T's and dot the I's. It's Oliver Oleogena, who has taught me to be creative, even though you're a producer, put your mind to work and push your mind to the limits. That's why I met Tishaya. With me here is Roger Sofime, who taught me how to scale up. The guy shot 1,000 episodes of content in 1 year and he didn't break a sweat. He will even live in Canada half of the year. Uzi knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
With me on this chair is Steve Gukas, who taught me to value myself and to value my art. And no matter how much I want to make money, not lose the essence of the story. With me here is Ramsey Noah, who has taught me to remember that I have a duty to Nigeria creative space, to have an identity and a DNA of a Nigerian. So no matter how I shoot a film in Uganda or Kampala or South Africa, I still have to be true to Nigeria because you cannot be more British than the Queen. So these people sit here with me on this chair because they spent 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years of their lives imparting in me. So I've written a book, but I think in this book is Mo Abudu, is Roger Sofime, is Steve Gukas, is Ramsey Noah, and it's Oliver Leogana.
Wow. Okay. A round of applause. So, I mean, I read this book, and like I said, I read it this morning also. So what I will be doing is I'll be bringing out certain quotes from the book, and I'll let you expound on it a little bit for us. So in the book you said, basically the premise of this book is based on 7 M's, right? That he believes that every producer needs to have, needs to think about, needs to process. If I was to give this book another name, I'll call it the psychology of filmmaking.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because it teaches you how to think. If you read the book Psychology of Money, it teaches you how to think about money. It also teaches you how to think about filmmaking. It makes you have a good shoulder for your head to rest on. So in the book you said, great films always result from a combination of different motives. Has your motive evolved through the years, and where is it now?
Motive for what exactly? Motive for my life? Motive for filmmaking? Yes, it has evolved. So I said something, I didn't finish what I was trying to say then about leadership, So when I started, I wanted to be the best filmmaker around. But I don't know where they called me kingmaker. I think it was yesterday. Salami was trying to introduce and called me a kingmaker. And I hardly take titles, but I think I like that title. I like to build thrones and put people on it. I like to be invincible. I like to be the process. I don't want to be the product, And I think processes outlive products. Products need to be upgraded from time to time, but processes are better. This is my thought. And when our president, he was making kings, when it was time for him, he didn't even need our vote. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, he didn't even need our vote. I had to put that in somewhere. He knew the system so well. He has tried it with several people in his state, in his community, in the nation. So he knew this thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a very powerful man.
Yeah.
I think that's a very powerful man. And even if I don't agree with his principles, I think I like who he is. Because that man, for you to be able to think a thing and do it. Back to us. I think that I want to become a filmmaker who is the leader and the inspiration for several great filmmakers. So let me shock you. As much as we all like to hold the AMVCA plaque, I want to be that guy that everybody that comes up the stage and picks up the plaque will tell the audience to turn around and put their hands together for me. I want to be that guy.
Rather than being the guy.
Because I feel like the plaque, and then what? I'm not saying I have a plaque, but that's why I can say what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that I want to be the guy who people are what they are because of what he is to them. A Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
The Godfather guy.
The Godfather, yeah.
Those kinds of people. And saying that, it means I have to create a space where filmmakers can consistently grow and not feel threatened by my own work. So I have to limit myself to doing only classics, if I can, so that they can now focus on doing the blockbusters and those things that make them what they are. So that's where my headspace is. But however, I think that profit is important, but I think impact is far more important. Driving here this morning, my wife was asking me about being an entrepreneur and being a social entrepreneur. I said I prefer to be a social entrepreneur. Instead of me having the solution to the problem, I want to be the one that has access to the people who have solutions to the problem and the respect of those people. So that people that have the funding will come to me because they want to impact those people. We run a tribe of almost 120 young filmmakers who we literally get involved in their life to the point that we even celebrate their birthdays and all of that, and their weddings and their child dedication and all of that, because we feel like we can have a hub of filmmakers who are under pure good creative influence, good values, and they're able to make better films because they are competing with themselves. But I can't be competing with them on that level now. I have to take myself to a point where, imagine if you see an Amitabh Bachchan in a film. You won't be checking whether he can act. You won't be comparing him with Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm sorry to say this publicly. There was the AMVCA that had RMD, Ramsey, Tope Tedela in a category. Before they even called the winner, I said, this is wrong. You can't put RMD, Ramsey, Olu Jacobs, and Tope Tedela on a voting category.
No.
And the winner was Tope Tedela, who I think deserved the award. But those other men did not deserve to be in that kind of level. Have you seen Olu Jacobs' pedigree and his resume?
Yeah. I was watching some of the work that he did.
Before some of us were born, he already had a career that was set above Nollywood.
Beyond Nollywood, totally.
So how do you put him in the same place? So you now say you won Olu Jacobs. So, but again, while I blame MVC, I also think if I was in their shoes, I wouldn't allow myself to be in that category. I will step down. So the next year, I'd become partner to Ramsey, and he got to them. I told him, step down. So on his page, he was even posting Swanky, Jidekene, for people to vote Swanky, to show that he wasn't interested in that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to explain that you need to sit in a position where you are not in that level. You can't come to Abuja to work and ignore the work that Dimbo is doing here. I literally cannot shoot in Abuja and not see my best locations will come from the location people that work for Dimbo. My best actors will be people that Dimbo has inspired to act. I don't know how he does that. He converts people from day-to-day job into acting. I don't know how he do that. I say, Dimbo made me act. Dimbo made me act. Dimbo made me act. And they've become, see what you do with Umi Baba Ahmed. Amazing work. I've known Umi when she didn't know whether she wanted to be an actor or a presenter or a newscaster like her mom. But today, see what she has become. Evolved. Now she writes and she acts. I don't want to go on and call names. Let's talk about Chisom and the other people that you have established. So he's done so much great work. Yes, I live in Abuja and I'm a filmmaker, but I cannot compare with what this man has sat here and churned out. When I saw War, Jesus Christ, I was proud as from Abuja. Wrath and Revenge. That was great work. They will now want to do an Abuja Creatives Award. They will not come and give Chris because Chris is popular from Lagos. And skip it. You get what I'm saying? That is wrong. I'm a creative in Abuja, but I live here. I don't work here. So what I'm trying to say, so you don't compare people on that level. So as leader, we have to stay above that level and make sure that the people that are, that's where I want to be. But back to what you asked, motives. I believe everybody makes a film for money, recognition, or message. Money because you want to make profit, which everybody here understands. Motive for recognition, you want to win awards, you want to be established, you want to be like a Shire, you want to go to Toronto, you want to shoot film for the queen of the screen. You know, we all want to be like a Shire. We want to know how you can be Genevieve's Wizkid. All we have is our Instagram page.
That she does not
no
follow
man
anybody.
can boast of being posted on the Genevieve's page like a Shire.
Wow.
Nobody.
Wow.
But all we have is our Instagram page. Just go and watch her once in a month post. Let us watch this film. Give us film. They're not in a hurry to release the film, but they didn't give it for us. We are mortals.
They made it for God.
But if you're calling filmmakers, even from when Ishaya made his first short film, Embrace on the Bald Head, the film traveled.
They got a lot of
Went to France, was there Clermont, where's that place? Clermont-Ferrand. It traveled. From there, this is like 2011, 2010. He was already traveling. Then he went into Home Vida, did tons of things for Home Vida. And now look at what Ishaya is doing. So you can see that he's a recognized filmmaker. If you ask me, a filmmaker, not a film businessman, Ishaya is a filmmaker. But why am I saying that? His motives are clear. And someone can want to be an Ishaya. I have a mentee, Alex, who adores Ishaya. Like to her, if she can be like Ishaya, she's bad. And he knows her. And that is a motive. But I am not set out. I don't want to be recognized, man. I got bills to pay. I didn't go to see you. I didn't go to Government University. I went to BUK, Bayero University, Kano. I was paying 25,000.
That's still a big school.
It's not big school, brother. My full year school fees for my 5 years and 2 years remedial is your 1 semester.
In Covenant University.
You might not pay off. So I need to hustle to meet up. I don't need recognition. So all I'm saying is profit, recognition. But sometimes people also do it for impact. Today is Mike Bamiloye's birthday. And that man has inspired me, even though people say it's on Zion fame, all of those things. But that man was consistent. He showed that there is a business in film in church. Church people have what to watch today. And it's a business he has created from there. In fact, it's now a generational business because his sons have come into it.
And they've
That
taken it
is
to the next
success.
level.
Yes. Their YouTube pages are blowing up.
I watch it every Sunday.
And now, they're building on it. Now, there are other people that have broken up from there that are doing their own. There's now a Christian industry. Even there's a Christian film festival.
Really?
Yes, it's in Lagos. So, people can also do this because of the messaging. I used to say to people, we know this is not a story, that you guys are filmmakers, about why Americans have superheroes in red and blue. They're trying to create an image of red and blue being the superior color and their flag being the superior flag and all of that. So you can blow up a plane in Air Force One and destroy a White House in Olympus has fallen. But the president cannot die in an American film. So they've told us that. That's why you feel like when the plane is flying, there are 7 planes around the plane, it's a lie. You get what I'm saying? But all of those things are just to help us to establish the fact that they are supreme. So they've used messaging to so we all think that if you get to America, you're blessed, you are rich, you are established. So they've done all of those things. So what I said that a film that has multiple motives is a powerful film is because for you to be able to make money, make impact, and get recognized, that shows you're a great filmmaker. Because it's hard to do the 3 in 1. In fact, in my 17 films I've made, only 1 or 2 have been able to achieve that. So that's why I said that. So if you're able to combine them neatly, then you are a great filmmaker. I said a lot.
So, I mean, that's the first M. If you want to read more about motives, buy the book. So, my
ChrisOdeh.com/book.
My job here is to keep promoting the book. I'm sorry, but...
We're supposed to sell 10,000 copies. Oh, hello? Okay. We're supposed to sell 10,000 copies to be a New York Times bestseller. So I'm telling you, people, help me.
Help
My next motive is to be New York Times bestseller. I don't know what it means, but I like the name. So we've sold 300 and something pieces. We need to sell 9,000. Chacha, what's it?
9,000.
600 and something left, So please buy your copy now.
Okay, so I mean the second M is manuscript. So now I'll read a quote. Story is king. Everything else is a slave to story. That is Casey Neistat. And then a quote by you says, the way a story is told can be a critical factor in determining the success or failure of a film. So what makes a good story and what makes this M very important?
In times where we're confused on what makes a film a good film as an industry, like we really don't know what makes a good film anymore. Is it Cinema Pointer? Is it ComScore? Is it Instagram? Is it AMVCA? What exactly makes a big film in Nigeria?
Netflix number 1.
Netflix number 1. I'm sorry to say this. People could be watching your film because they want to find out if the film is good or bad. That's why they're going to click on it. But that doesn't make your film good. They went to check. I made a very terrible film that went on Netflix and it was number 1 in 3 countries. I can't watch that film.
I will not ask you the name.
No, ask me the name. I will not tell you. I've made 17 films finished as at this time in my life. That film has the highest profit returns on investment. Wow. It made 510%. Not of the money, of profit. The profit was 510 times the amount I made the film.
Wow.
No film has made that. But I can't watch it. So is that film a successful film? The question I always ask is, who's asking? If a businessman is asking me a question, it's a successful film. If Isha is asking me the question, I won't answer. I'll leave the WhatsApp group. I'll leave the WhatsApp group and say, it will echo. It will echo. I'll say, hey, Chris, was your film? I'll like, you keep quiet on the phone call. I do
I can't hear you.
I can't hear you. Again, I honestly think among the films I've made, I really love the process I used for making Oloibiri. Oloibiri wasn't marketed well. People didn't see it. So if people don't see it, if you had to do it, rate the film. You see, but when it comes to a creative art, for your mental health, you want to be sure that your film does the first primary assignment, which is to tell a story. Filmmakers are storytellers. We're not businessmen. We do business so we can come back with another story. You guys are in this room with me. Tell us the truth. You give Dimbo 1 billion and now you will jump, you will go and shoot 5 films tomorrow. Give you 1 billion naira, bruh. You won't go shoot 5 films tomorrow.
No, we'll break the budget.
I'm saying, allocation for real estate, allocation for advert. But we are addicted to this thing. We don't know, but we are addicted to this thing. We are addicted to this thing. Thank you, guys. I was we're not 1 or 2. I'm happy my wife is here to see that my mental health is not only me that have the case. We are plenty in the room. We have sold cars, sold houses, sold things to go and shoot film without any guarantee. We just this is the story. And you know, make it realize only you thought it was the story. But I think a creative, for your mental health, your story needs to work first. Because what we do is that we tell that story I said I didn't like. When he started selling, I began to lie to myself that it was a good story as a business. Do I want to make it again? No. In fact, they asked me to do a sequel. I didn't even reply the email. The streaming platform came back and said, can we make a sequel? I didn't even reply the email to today. That's 2 years ago. Because I don't want to even be mentioned around it. Not because, it wasn't like bad because people that went to do it didn't know what they're doing. It was bad because something, when you make a film and the little crack happens in the film, and that little crack can mess up everything about the film. One character gets a disjoint, and the audience get distracted by that character. One particular scene does something wrong, and all of a sudden everything is a waste. You know, it's like knitting a cloth, and you miss two holes. You see the hole in that cloth forever.
Yeah.
That's what it was. You know, but back to what I'm saying. Story is really king. And the beautiful films that we love till tomorrow, if I ask you your best films since you've been watching films, we'll be calling Godfather, Sound of Music, Home Alone. Beautiful stories coming to America. Beautiful stories. You're not going to tell me stories that you didn't understand. Even the Indian films, we didn't even understand what they were saying. But the story just made sense to us. Acha gave birth to Bacha. Bacha is chasing Acha. That's what we know.
I mean, some people now speak Hindu now.
We speak Hindu, see Rahama. Literally, speaking Hindu acting in films. I'm sure she didn't go to any school to go and learn it. Hausa girls will speak India for you.
Yes.
They will run you.
Some people were speaking to me, this K-drama, what is language?
They're learning that one now again. They're learning that thing. What they speak in Korea?
Korea, okay.
Nigerians are speaking Korea now. Hey.
You can imagine. So there's a cultural exchange.
And we cannot sell Yoruba to ourselves. You know, I spoke at a university in Kampala, and I was watching their series, and you see them eating sushi in their films. And I asked them, why would you be eating sushi? They now showed me Nigerian films where they were eating American food. I was quiet. They are learning from us. They are learning the mediocrity from us. Exactly, and that juice in that jug. That juice in that jug. Eh? No, the juice in the jug. So, we eat pasta. We eat our food is hand, roll, and swallow. We use spoon and fork. Cut the meat. And you now put it in the girl's mouth. Yeah, and I say, thank you, honey. She now cut and put it in your own mouth. Or you put ice cream on her nose. Yeah, you put ice cream on her nose. Can you roll pounded yam? Can you roll pounded yam? Put it in the okra soup and put it in her mouth. We are influencing Africa. We are influencing Africa now. When you go here, I was speaking and I was making a point, and the guy said, excuse me, sir, your own films in Nigeria have those things. Shame, catch me. I had to say, it's not saying actually, so, you have messed up. But the point is, we have influence, and this is what's happening. We have influenced people wrongly. But back to us. Story is the key element in everything we're doing.
So do you think we are actually getting it right now in terms of story? Like, have we made progress from your time? I mean, from when you started.
I think this question is kind of tricky because story can be judged by its ability to be well communicated. Yeah. And so it takes the audience to judge if a story is good or bad. Because the story might work in your head, but your expression can lose it. So what I've noticed is that we tell good stories to ourselves and we are excited about the story in our head. But when we now express it, it's not working out. We say, they are the ones that have a problem. No. If I'm talking and you're not hearing me, you're going to walk away because it's a waste of time. Not because you don't love me, but because I can't be here, I can't hear Chris. And what am I here for? So let me go do work or play football. So the point is and I keep saying this, you start a story by saying storyteller, once upon a time, to confirm that there's an audience for what you're about to say. He won't go ahead to say there was a man, mango. He has a wife, way fast. Whatever that means, I don't know. But the point is, we want to have audience reaction to it. So your story, as much as it's key, is it understandable? And I love one video that Chimamanda made like a couple of years back about how you can tell a story, keep your story simple. Single story.
Yeah.
Sometimes we complicate the story. The man has a wife, the wife has a boyfriend, the boyfriend has a daughter, the daughter has a wife. And the wife. So we are being, so this one now, is it the wife of the brother? Oh no, this is the brother. Film that you have to pause to think. I left work to come and be entertained. Now you are not giving me work. Now we say, so those choreographers can be like, say, so the woman that, oh, this is the woman that, oh, okay, yes. It's I feel. For me, that's work. Keep the story simple. The best stories we've seen in our life, look at Home Alone. Left the child in the house, robbers came, the boy overcame them. Look at the biggest films, Godfather. There's no complication.
So I think somehow from what you've said, right, I'm kind of connecting that the motives kind of inform the kind of story that you eventually tell.
Thank you.
Right?
So the 7 M's, as I said, which is, I think I should mention it, which is motive, manuscript, money, manpower, management, and modus operandi, and market. I think they connect together. But the hub of the 7 M's is the motive. If my motive is to make money, I really don't care if the story is classic or not. So let me give an example. What's trending now? Esther was black and broke. Establish. So you gotta make a movie called Establish. And you release it next week. It will sell.
Yes.
But 70 years time, who is Esther? What is Blish? So when people make films out of trends for YouTube to make cash out in a month, it makes sense to me. But you're making a classic film and you're putting Establish. So your motive is not clear. Because your ego is fighting with your motive. You want to be popular and you want to make a classic film. Choose one. Godfather, after 50 years, was brought back to theater. 50 years. People still watch Godfather till today to know principles in business.
I'm about
People still write notes and say, oh, keep your enemies closer. Oh, people write it till now.
Yeah.
Mafia management things. That's a film that was well thought through. And Coppola is still making film. He made a film last week or last month or whatever. I was like, I'm following him on Instagram. I'm like, I wanted to ask you, say, Baba, they tire. So, but these people think deep to make a story. But their motives are very clear. I don't have a problem with people making short shelf life films, but don't put short shelf life films on theater. Don't shoot a film from bedroom to bedroom and take it to theater. Don't shoot a film in one room and take it to theater. They don't shoot a film where the opening scene is a helicopter and plane crash and put it on YouTube. So you know what you want. Your motive determines your manuscript. Your manuscript also is not every director that can direct every film. I made a film, a supernatural drama, and I hired an urban director. He couldn't understand the spiritual world. He was a good director, but he couldn't understand supernatural world. He couldn't place it. And good guy, he was good, but he was bad. He was good as a guy, but bad for business. So the film, most of you know the film. I won't call the film here. The film came out. You could see E for effort, but F for failure. And it's not his fault. It's my fault. I hired him. Because I thought if he could make that film, he could make this film. You need to understand the world. Nobody can make better northern films like Uzi and Dimbo. They live the life. They understand. You see people doing northern films, they're holding. We don't hold like that. We don't hold. We hold behind the scenes. We don't hold in the public.
We are just discussing it.
We don't. So the fact that Americans are holding, we don't hold. We don't do Zanche like that. We do Zanche under the tree. Under the tree. Under the tree. Side by side, you talk, I talk, you talk, I talk. We smile and say, come on, you can very haka. That's how we do it. Then we sing a little. But you gotta make a northern film and now the girl is climbing on the guy's back and now that's not, you disconnect from me. I'm a church boy, I grew up in church. I watched a film about a church story recently. And I was like, that's not how girls do love. When girls are dating a guy in campus, they don't check each other in public. They go to the back of the theater to go and peck. Experience, my brother. So people don't understand this world. So you see, so your motive determines your story, which determines the kind of person you hire to do the job. You're shooting a comic film, you're hiring a director that has no sense of humor. And you think the film will be funny. Say it's film. It went So you see, so motive is the hub. So first of all, ask yourself, why am I making this film? When you answer that question, everything will flow from there. So I asked the person the question, what's the most successful film last year in Nigeria? The 3 top films were Black Book, Mami Water, and A Tribe Called Judah. Which is most successful? My answer is, who's asking? Who will I ask? If Coppola asked me that question, Mami Water.
Who's Coppola?
Francis Coppola, director of Francis Coppola, the director of. If Tyler Perry asked me that question, A Tribe Called Judah is the one. If who will I use now? If Netflix asked me the question, Black Book is the answer. You see, so who's asking? Because they were all successful based off on their target. Funke targeted the box office and she broke it, destroyed it, smashed it. Edite targeted international streaming. He broke it, he shattered it. Even on my own decks now, I use this film as a reference. I say, if he did it, I can do it. If I'm making a film now, I'm making a film called Silent Disco. I'm supposed to do some tours and festivals. Mami Water is my reference point. I'm not going to be referencing Tribe Called Judah for Silent Disco when I know what I'm targeting there. So you have to know your clear. If CJ Obasi grows Moses and say, I want to go and break office, box office, he's sure that will be broken when he comes back.
Oh my.
Black and white film in Nigerian cinema. Only him and his mom, and maybe me and 2 other people watch that film.
You watch
It's true. They won't watch it. They say, what is black and white with my 7,000 for black and white? 7,000 naira ticket. Even cinemas will reject it.
Oh my God.
Even cinemas will say, no, Bamaso. It's a fact. So he knew where he took it to. So now when he comes back to Nigeria, we're going to watch it because this is our film that put us on Sundance and almost got Oscars. You know, there's that idea. Same thing with Black Book. If Black Book had gone to cinemas, I'm not sure it would have got to 1 million hours. Crying RMD. Our sugar daddy is crying. Why is he crying? You can see the point. You see the workings. So you need to know your motive. And don't change your motive along the line. Because when you start, you have a motive, you want to go to festivals and all of that and get recognized. Then you meet a chatty producer like me and say, no, you can make money from this thing. You start changing what you want. You've already put a goose inside the soup. Now you want to now do a bono. You get my point? So now you now have a potpourri of all kinds of jargons. No. When it's done. I like the when he's warning me, it's like, don't spoil my mix. When it's done. Not when you're cooking it, you're going to put a goosey inside. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't cook. But so what I'm saying is, we need to be clear on our motives. Are you looking for money? And only with your chest. Funke was doing TikTok. You will feel bad if you don't watch that woman's film. You feel like you are a bad person.
You're not in Nigeria.
There's this thing of, watch this film. You see, so she didn't come doing, I want to change the narrative of, I want to make money. And money she made.
Yeah.
So she came and I said, because Suji Obasi now went to, want to go to Oscars. I know somebody Tribe Called Judah. Okay, you now spend money, maybe it's unnecessary. Because now she has to now hire a director that has Oscar or a DP that has Oscar, whatever, resume. That changes the whole narrative. Person that doesn't understand Nigerian humor. Do you get my point? Yeah. Because you need to understand how to even shoot comedy. Even editing. The way, if you want to edit a Nigerian film, and it's action, drama, you can edit it outside Nigeria. You take our pure comedy outside this country, you will come back with tears.
Why?
They don't understand the tempo of our humor. Americans laugh per line. How are you? I'm fine. We laugh with sceneries. I see one woman. The woman can't ask me out. Of course, I know they do. She can't slap me. You see what happened there? But Americans say, I see one woman. She can't slap me. So they don't understand our own humor. That's how our comedians can make it in America. That's how we go and do comedy in America. You see, we have to hire our Igbo boys in Canada and come and sit down there. Or Igbo will not laugh in our joke. They don't understand what you're cracking. So you can't take Aki and Popo and go and get a South African editor. I've tried it. He will say, it's so funny. Baba, you know funny. Give me refund. I've seen them, I'm telling you for real. So your motive determines when you want to shoot a drama, there's a guy called Antonio in the UK, there are editors, there's Johan, there are people around that will edit action drama for you. They will cut it in 2 weeks. South Africans, British, Spanish people. But you see our comedy, it's your local boy here that will cut it for you. So you see, your motive will determine your manpower. You have to shoot a film. The film is about, so I did a movie recently called Owambe. And I told the director, I want to host a party. So I got a party hype man. So when they say cut, the crew start dancing. When they say action, the crew stop dancing, the cast start dancing. We danced from 4 till morning. When you watch that scene, you will feel the energy in the scene. Like I said, let's cut this scene and just release it. It was so real.
I think I saw the behind
the scene. People were like, wow, it was a real party that we did. Ashwebi were real. Crew were Ashwebi. Cast were Ashwebi. So you can come and show you. You enter. because I was like, every time I watch a party film in Nigeria, I know it's a party. I know it's a film. You see the cutting, cut. I wanted something that you can do 360. And it's like your mother's party. They were spraying money and people were already picking money to hide in their pockets. Because they thought it was real money. So it was real.
Like they were really
stealing. So the DP was just turning around like he was doing a music video. So Chris, man, he was amazed, amused. So he was also happy with it. The actors, what did they write the script? Started doing. The next script started doing their own. So now that scene can capture the essence of a Nigerian party. Do you get my point? But now I would have gone and said, let's do storyboard. Because I want to be like Ishaya. Storyboard. Which is not bad, but it cannot tell the story well. I don't know if I made any. So again, the market. Where are you taking the film to? You're watching a movie on YouTube, on Netflix. I'll tell you something. When you go on Netflix and you're watching the film Elijah, you have like 3 to 5 minutes before you change the film.
True.
But you take an Uber, you buy shawarma, you take your girlfriend, you buy 2 tickets, you spend maybe like 30K. You see that in the cinema, they're playing the film. The film is not sweet. When you remember your 30K, you will sit it out. But on Netflix, you can switch to the next one. On TV, you can switch. So when you're telling a story, is this for the cinema or is it for streaming? I understand now there are blurry lines between both of them now, but you still need to know. Because even the streamers are using your sales in streaming in the cinemas now to know how to purchase a film for streaming. They look at your numbers. Everybody goes to Comms Corner to go and check. So your film does well in the cinemas, they know that you will do well in streaming. But it's a different kind of storytelling. Because in streaming, they are sitting on a bigger screen, the sound is better, there's a surround, and someone's watching on the phone, no surround, it's stereo. So all those your Foley's you did might not even work out. The grade you did might not even show. So you need to understand where exactly are you taking this film to. And all of this starts from where? Motive.
So I think I would like us to talk about money a little. No, I mean, basically you said the business of filmmaking is like every business. It's a game of value. So my question basically here is, we have surpassed the first 2 hurdles. Let's say I've surpassed motive and manuscript, right? How should I, as a creative, because some creatives might be here who have, my motive is right, my manuscript is good. How do I get money for my film? What are some things, best practices that I should have in mind as a filmmaker looking out for investments for my film? And how do I best manage that relationship with investors?
This is like jam questions you're asking me. So first off is, let me set an example. So when it comes to money, how you raise the money to shoot your film, how you manage the money while you're shooting your film, and how you market your film to make money are 3 important aspects. You're doing a film that speaks against LGBTQ, and you're asking a lesbian to fundraise you. No matter how sweet that film is, it's never going to happen.
It doesn't align with our values.
You're shooting a film where a pastor is cutting runs, and you're asking your pastor to fund the film.
He will not fund it.
It's never going to fund the film. So, again, your motive has to be clear. What kind of film are you trying to do? Because you can't come and get money from me to shoot a film that speaks bad about Nigeria. It can never be me. Because of how I hold Nigeria, I think we don't have to tell the world how bad it is. We tell ourselves, but we tell the world how good it can be. That's my own stance, because that's what America did to recover from all that happened to them. So why should we go and be exposing our own darkness to the world when America can even teach us corruption, if you want to put it critically? Having said all of that. Now, so you need to be very, very thoughtful about how. So I think creatives are excited about their stories, but creatives don't know that they need to also be creative about how they raise their money. Yes.
So there's a creativity to
so
raising
the
money.
creative process. So we just get story. Nigerian James Bond. Nigerian James Bond. We just jump into it and say, Papa Lua is James Bond and he's fighting against everybody. We'd go. So now you've thought about the story, but have you thought about how that story can be funded? Because it comes in a full package. So you've thought about the story of Nigerian James Bond. You sit down with that story and said, okay, if I do a Nigerian James Bond, what kind of audience will want to watch it? What kind of person will want to fund it? What are those kind of opportunities? I had a meeting yesterday with my hosts for yesterday's book tour. And we had a conversation after, and I was asking him, I told him about a story he wanted to shoot. And I said to him, you belong to this community. How can we raise this money? He said, yeah, Chris, I can raise, he called an amount. And he told me the agencies that will raise the money. When I thought about the story, he didn't come with the story, but I knew that story needed to be told to him because he understands that world to tell me who would fund. When we left that meeting, we had realized that we could shoot that film and make money before we release the film. You need to be creative about your processes. I'll give another example. You're about to shoot Aki and Popo Reloaded. You want to fund and pay Aki and Popo the money for their acting. Do you realize that these guys feel like this is their
life's work?
Their life's work. You're not giving them any shares on the table. They will never be motivated. They will feel insulted. If you pay them 100 million naira, they will feel insulted. So you need to be creative about so that there will be some level of ownership in the process. So they're not just selling it because they've done another film. They are saying this is okay, this is the retirement Aki and Popo. Do you get what I'm saying? So you need to be creative about how you want to raise your funds. You want to do a film that want to make money from advertising. Then you easy. One of the actors working in an advertising agency. That is easy because any product now can go. Because that could be their clients. Who's boss? Who's the boss? Something like that. They did that in Who's the Boss. And I think they did that also in Life. Uyo Ade and Judith Audu. It's a creative way. So while you're thinking about the story, also creatively think about the funding. That's why this book is meant to preach one thing to people. That they are producers, but producers are more than people who count money and spend money. Producers are also creative people. You need to be creative through the entire tier of your production process. How you hire people. You see, you want to shoot a film like Apocalypto. I would try to find a person who shoots natural life. Because you're able to tell. Because you see, the speed that guy was running, the choice of the camera matters.
Yeah.
You're about to shoot a film about Pele. You need a director who understands how to shoot football. Have you seen a lot of films about football? You don't enjoy the football in the film. They're shooting a music video.
Very slow.
Very slow, it looks like the person is not playing the football for real. But there's the way football is shot. Watch Premiership, you know what I'm talking about. So you have to be creative about everything you're doing in the entirety of your production. How am I saying all of this? And that's why there's this chapter called Modus Operandi that says that avoid templates. Never apply what worked for one for the other. Every creative product has its own creative process and needs a creative leadership. Every. The way you market Living in Body is not the way you market Rattlesnake. Living in Body was a groundbreaking project. Rattlesnake was a comeback. Living in Body was a sequel. Rattlesnake was a remake. People were shocked by Living in Bondage. People were expecting Rattlesnake. It's a different feel. It's a different feel.
You're kind of diving into market now.
Yes. I'm not saying that everything has to be creatively approached. Secondly, how you spend the money. I say this every time I have the opportunity to talk to filmmakers. Your film worth should not be equal to your film cost.
How do you mean?
If this event costs Take Out Media ₦1 million, then when I look at it, it should be worth ₦2 million. You need to bring in social capital, favors. I share this everywhere I tell people. I said, if you want to live in the money, say, big film, mighty film. But the biggest things in that film were gotten for free. The PJ was free. The cars were free. Richard Williams' house was free. His office was free. The things we paid for were the cheap things. It was a big budget film, but we now had enough money to spend on post-production and the right things. And the actors. What people do is that they have money and they think that it's just a spending spree. Anybody can plan an event. Anybody can plan a project. But it takes a creative person to produce a film. That's why when you want to marry a wife or a husband that can cook, you look for somebody that can cook more than you spend. What I'm trying to say, without being a feminist or a masculine or what's the other one? Masculinist, yes. Whatever that means, is to say that money in film, in business, is a trade of value. People really do not care how much cash you spend. People want to see value in your product. And the funny thing is that the things that give your film most values most times are things you can't even pay for. You shoot in Abuja. The biggest houses, people that own those houses, you can't pay them. You have to be your friend. People that when you went for their naming ceremony, you were there for their wedding, and I want to shoot in your parlor. They say, shoot in the parlor. You can't pay that man money. It's the poor guy that say, 2 hours in my sitting room, 4,000. And by the second hour, they're already eating pan in the kitchen because they want you to leave the house. So the real houses that look beautiful, the one that you won't go and shoot, and the film after your film on Iroko is the same parlor they used. So we don't know. We say, maybe who's the film be this? Oh, no, that was the film now. Oh, Narahama. I was driving out of a location in Naked Police. I was driving out of a location. Another crew were driving into the same location. But let me say it. The house that Naked broke into to go and fight Kepi Epeyong is the same house Iblis was living in KOB2.
Oh.
Yes. We were driving and they were driving. They said, do quick. They don't come. My brother. As you discover the house like this, they say, a fresh location. Release your film on time, oh. Release them on time. Oh. Don't be to shoot first. I have to release first. You get my point? So what I'm saying is, you have to also approach your spending with a businessman's acumen. Negotiate to the core. I say to people, look for free. If you can't get free, borrow. If you can't borrow, steal. If you can't steal, steal legally or illegally. If you can't steal, get a discount. If you can't get a discount, then pay for it. But it's a trade of value. Don't think, if I give Uzi's sandals now to King Charles, it becomes a royal sandal. Don't stop thinking that the value, the money you spend on something is what gives the thing value. You are the one that gives that thing value. I'll say it again. Don't think that the thing you are buying is what gives you value. You are the one that gives that thing value. Because you are royal. You are the creative. You are the superpower. You are the demigod. So if I put an actor in my film, the actor enjoys because the actor now has played a role in Chris's film. My film does not become... Imagine what happened to Tribe Called Judah. I saw the way they were promoting that film. Before you say, well, don't wear a jacket, don't wear hoodie, don't say a tribe. I said that waiting. Uzi. But everybody, the highest grossing film, everybody wanted to be a part of it. Yeah. My brother traveled to France. I asked, I said, I don't give you flight to France. I said, no. I said, but you market them for there. Everybody wants to be father of success. If the thing came out, I was selling 2,000. I said, Uzi will say, guys, I made a film. No, Uzi's not even like that. Uzi will still sell it. The other will say, I made a film. I'm not saying because he's here. Uzi sells everything.
Uzi carries everybody's project.
I asked Uzi, everybody is the bestest person in Hollywood. My humblest, the finest. I say, Uzi, everybody the best. Everybody the best. Who will be the real best, Uzi? On your birthday, you're the best. Everybody. And he has sustained that thing very well. I commend that. Thirdly, is to now understand the kind of marketing you need to do. Where do you find your kind of market? So you are doing a film for old women and marketing it on Instagram. Are they there?
Facebook.
Then understand that there's the consuming audience and there's the buying audience. You make a rom-com. You put a very fine girl who is a threat to the girls, who when they bring their boyfriend to watch the film, the man will be looking at the girl in the film. Put a honk that will attract the girls to bring their sugar daddies to pay for the bill. Sugar daddy has buying power. Baby girl has consuming power. Know who you target. Babies wear pampers, babies don't buy pampers.
Yeah.
So separate who is buying from who is watching.
Customer from consumer.
Oh, Jesus. Separate customer from consumer. Put a honk there, open chest.
Yeah.
Put oil. Baby girls will flood into the room. And the bulk daddies will have to buy. When I did Choke was selling 1 million, 2 million in the cinema. I was saying, why? This is a good film. It's a film that you killed 4 people. I carry my girlfriend, I put her for Uber, 7,000. I buy ticket, 5,000. I buy shawarma, buy hot dog, buy popcorn. Then now I'm sitting beside her, I'm touching her shoulder. She said, honey, you kill the first person, she moves small. I kill the second person, she moves further. Third person, she's crying. Now I've moved from getting lucky to doing a mental health coach. Say, it's going to be okay, baby. It's going to be okay, baby.
It's just
you have spoiled my date.
It's just a movie.
Why will I go and watch Choke when I can go and watch something better? So you get what I'm saying? Choke was not a film for cinema.
Yeah.
Cinema, we don't have a cinema culture in Nigeria. What we have in cinema going in Nigeria is a date. Go to cinema and sit down and watch the gate, the door. Man and woman, man and woman, man and woman, man and woman. Several girls. 5 girls, girls night out. Man and woman, man and woman, man and woman, girls night out. That's what they do there. They also want to have fun. You're going to do film where the man is killing the opening scene. They don't tear the neck. Eh? They don't come and say, we don't like the film. The film was just very gory. It was just very serious. Cinema, people want to experience something. Want to see, it's a big screen. Do something big, a massive party. Something big. So you have to, first of all, know how to creatively approach your funders. Second, don't take a debt for a long-term film. A film that will take you a while to shoot. Don't go and take debt investment. I dyed my hair last 2 weeks. If I would have showed you all the gray hair, each one representing someone I was owing money at different points in my life.
Oh my.
Any film that makes you go and borrow money is from the devil. Say 6 foot plus promised me 6 million. It's on the way. He has sent it just as it arrived. My dear, shift the shoot date to the day the money arrived. I have a film I'm shooting next week. They fix the dates. They transfer the money from America since Monday. I never see the money. I send them to this man who can say, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful time. How was your salad break? Just to inform you that the money that left America has not arrived in Nigeria. And by extension, we shall not be traveling to your country till 1 week after the money arrives. In Igbo, they say, if our papa is so cool, what they've settled on does not cause quarrel. They are aware. I will not be in the air and say, when we land, money would have landed. I know they hear that kind of story. Many have gone to their graves. See the full money. Even if it's in the bank, go to the bank, use ATM, withdraw small. It comes out, you know that it's there.
No reversal.
Because there's audio money.
No reversal.
Before you say action, the money reverse. There's someone paid money to me last week. I wasn't sure of the person. I had money from one account to the other account. Went to use ATM to withdraw money. If I say, okay, I've seen the money.
Are you serious?
I was afraid the money came. It came in a very mysterious way. The guy said, send me, I sent the wrong account with wrong name. He sent the money anyways. I sent me proof of payment. So he guessed the other digits and he walked. But I had to go and confirm. I transferred from the account to this account, went to withdraw the money. Because I trust this Nigeria done the hot too. It's a hot too. Guys don't they get taught. So anyways, as I was saying, get the money creatively. Spend the money creatively. Make your money back creatively. Don't get short-term loans for long-term projects. Don't. I have done it. I have suffered it. It's not a sweet experience. You don't want to be writing book of how not to take loan.
If you want to learn more about right.
Chapter 3. chrisodeh.com/book.
// book. It's right in the book.